Hello everyone, I'm Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the season finale of X-Men 97. If you have not seen it, well, luckily for you, I was sick, and because of that wasn't able to film. So this should be enough time that you have already seen the season finale. That being said, if you have not and you have a problem with spoilers, I highly recommend you pausing this video, watching the actual season finale, and then coming back and watching the video. There's a lot of things to unpack today. Um, Way too much to happen, let me tell you about that. We had, how do I want to even start with this? Many things happened. One of the big things here was the fact of Bastion basically being a powerhouse still, smacking the group to smithereens. Jean Grey blasted into the water where she is knocked down and supposedly defeated, where we have the rest of the X-Men tied up by Sentinels, unable to escape, and him willing to choke the life out of pretty much everyone present. During their fight up on the top, on Asteroid M, we had Professor X use his mutant ability of telepathic abilities to manipulate Magneto's mind and body to reverse the magnetism around Earth, so it would then be able to be used to, well, bring power back into the world. Well, when that happened, a huge thing popped off where the Prime Sentinels began to work once again. And there was a lot of destruction happening there. And it was during that where we see Bastion on strongest, and that's when um, I do apologize. That's when we see massive amounts of destruction happening all around again. We then have Jean Grey coming out of the water as none other than the Phoenix, where she puts back the device that's put on Bastion's neck, where he was able to no longer control the Prime Sentinels, which was able to stop them, supposedly, from basically destroying the entire planet. Although that is unclear of exactly how that works. With that going on as well, we also have the thought of, my apologies, we also have the idea of the UN wanting to blast down Asteroid M. Now, in this, we have many, um, I do apologize, we have many, kind of, how do I want to phrase this? um, Cameos. So we have Doctor Strange working in a hospital using his magic to help people through surgery. We also have um, Black Panther, who is concerned about the Magneto protocols, and Captain America, who does not want it to happen at all. And we have Silver Samurai just standing on top of Japan, a building in Japan, just watching, seeing the magnetic waves kind of open up again, ready to who knows what out there. We also got to see Daredevil. Was Daredevil? No, Daredevil. Oh no, I think that was last episode. But we had Daredevil. No, I think this was this one. Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger. We had Cyclops and what looked like all of, oh shoot, Alpha Flight. We had Aurora and I believe North Star, and I'm not sure of everyone that was there, so I do apologize. But we had a bunch of people there as well. We also got to see Peter Parker, MJ, Flash Thompson. I'm trying to think of anybody else that we saw. I think that was all of it. So anyway, they agreed that they should take down and use the Magneto protocols to take down Asteroid M. So it was during that where they were able to, well, they launched rockets towards it. So that's all happening all at once, right? We then have the device on Bastion, who then rips the arm off of Cable, and uses it to manipulate it around his body, creating him more cyborg than human, and uses then the Sentinels around him to create a more menacing, um, vulture-like um, outfit or form, I guess is the best way to put it. Razor blades, everything you can imagine, right? And he takes off to Asteroid M to destroy the magnetic core and bring it down. So Jean Grey lets the group upstairs know that what's going on and that Forge and Beast are trying to figure out a way to get themselves onto Asteroid M to help them out. So on Asteroid M, we have Professor X and Magneto knocked out, um, unable to do much of anything because they are inside Magneto's mind, where Professor X is trying to get him to use his well, basically bring him back to the land of the living, really is what it comes down to. Because if his mind gets lost there, he will never wake up again. And if Charles is there when it happens, Charles will also be lost forever. So we have that going on. We have Wolverine, who is fighting for his life because the metal was removed from his body, and Morph is staying there to kind of figure out what's going to happen next. During all this opens up a huge, massive fight between Bastion and the remaining X-Men, including the X-Men that come a little later, which we will discuss once that happens. We get to see a lot of banter. We also get to see some power boosts from a lot of people. We see Rogue and Sunspot attacking him into out in space, where we actually get to see the location where the Phoenix fights or the Phoenix trials happened in the original animated series. We get to see them knocking Bastion around like he was nothing, but also seeing Bastion choke almost the life out of Rogue. So a lot happens there. We also get to see some of the best fight scenes I've seen in a long time. I'll definitely say that. But we also get to see Jubilee and Nightcrawler teaming up to try to take down Bastion. One of the bigger comments is like, "What are you gonna do? Fourth of July me to death?" And she blasts his face clean off, basically. Granted, he can put himself back together, but she blasts him with her fireworks right in his face. And that's when a Sentinel crashes in to Asteroid M, which has the entire rest of the X-Men group except for Cable and Forge. Cable and Forge are back down on Earth, where they all begin to continue their fight. So they're able to defeat Bastion only by sheer luck, by the core overloading and him getting sucked into it. So it's unclear of exactly what happens to Bastion, whether he's actually dead or not, but he's definitely at least gone for the moment in time. We then have Jubilee being shot out of Asteroid M. Sunspot goes to help her. The X Men order him to go back down to Forge and that they'll handle the rest. So the X Men decide to team up and try to stop Asteroid M from crashing into Earth. Storm and Jean Grey are on the outside trying to use their abilities to lift up the mountain. I mean, lift up the asteroid. We have Cyclops who's trying to blast it so it's less um, heavy, I guess is the best way to put it, before it crashes down. Beast trying to use the technology on it to actually get it to lift up again. And Morph and Wolverine are unfortunately indisposed. Um, and we have Nightcrawler around. Oh, and Rogue is trying to lift up the asteroid M as well. So everyone's seeing that the blast happened and the core was destroyed by the Magneto protocols, which did not destroy asteroid M, but send it hurtling towards Earth. So that's when we see. I think that's when we actually see Peter Parker, MJ, and Flash Thompson. But anyway, we also get to see the fact of everyone realizing that maybe the Magneto protocols were not the smartest thing to do. Well, luckily, Charles Xavier, inside the mind of Magneto, was able to get him back to the land of the living, which, by the way, had some of the darkest undertones that this show has had in a long time. Where we also get to see a little bit of a cameo of Wanda, Pedro, and Polaris inside the mind of Magneto. Although we did not get to see them actually in this series. So they then have Magneto wake up. He uses his magnetism to lift Asteroid M back into the orbit of Earth when suddenly, I guess because of the magnetism of the black hole and possibly Magneto's ability combined together, it's really tough to try to figure out exactly what happened. But Asteroid M just up and disappeared, to the point where they actually split the X-Men into two timelines, one in the past, one in the future. In the future, we have none other than Jean Grey and Cyclops, who are dealing with a bunch of stuff, but also get to meet a potential daughter of theirs. The reason why I say it that way is because it's unclear whether it's a daughter or if just going to be, because in the comics it's a daughter. But in this timeline, it could be just an ancestor, not an ancestor, a descendant. Rachel, uh, we have Rachel who's there, who's the leader of the group, and then we also get to see a young Nathaniel, which we're not sure if it's going to be Cable or not, or if it's going to be none other than X-Man, which we'll have to wait and see. But overall, looking forward to seeing what happens on that piece. And then we have on the past side, we have Wolverine being carried, Morph, Beast, and Professor Xavier being carried. The rest of the group, minus Cyclops and Jean Grey, are in the past, where we get to see none other than Apocalypse at his youngest, um, who is being attacked, where Magneto actually saves him from being killed, and wondering what's going to happen next. And the after credit scene, although I'm sorry, before that, before the series ends, we have Forge with a list of all mutants that he's aware of and who might help to kind of start a new team of X-Men to kind of try to find where the original X-Men went. So he has a list on the board of kind of where everyone is. Some of my favorites. It's supposed to be a play on a very specific Uncanny X-Men comic cover, where it's like deceased, deceased, or been missing for so long, presumed deceased. Captured, captured, captured. Right. And in this one, it's very similar. And we get to see that Pedro and Scarlet Witch are considered to be off-world, and a lot of other people just disappeared. Cable went AWOL, and things like that. And we have none other than Bishop coming back, who's going to help Forge build a team to help figure out where and when um, the X-Men had went. But the after credit scene was the biggest, I guess you would say, uh, twist we were not prepared for was a present day Apocalypse pulling out the card, a burnt card, stating that so much death has happened. And for anybody who's ever read the comics, that is a huge tease to Gambit coming back as Death, one of the four horsemen of Apocalypse. So it sounds like season two is going to be heavily featuring Apocalypse, where we're going to be dealing with the four horsemen of Apocalypse. And the rumor is it's going to be Archangel, Gambit, Polaris, and somebody said Wolverine, which bothers me. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. That one's not making sense to me, to be honest with you. But weird things have happened, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. That being said, we have season two coming out. I think it's the beginning of next year, because I think they said winter of 2025, which would then state it would be like January, February. But we'll have to wait and see. Overall, very much happy with how this season went. Very much looking forward to how the next season goes as well. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode, but not only just that, how you thought this season went. And is this series even worth being going further? I'll tell you my thoughts, obviously. I think it needs to go on because the story has been told beautifully, done better than I've seen a lot of shows been doing. Also, more recently, like it's been a better, even though it's not part of the MCU, it is a better told story that we've had in a long time, and it's something we definitely need. But overall, very much happy about it. And then let me know in the comments how you guys feel about it. And then, as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.